Cassandra is a former Navy Command Fitness Coordinator and current Senior Advanced First Degree Black Level student at White Dragon School of Martial Arts. She has been teaching Tai Chi, Moving for Better Balance, for 6 years and is an instructor at Aging Independence Services. We're so lucky to have her. So everybody, please join me in welcoming Cassandra.
Thank you so much for joining us for this session. This class is going to be an introduction into the history and benefits of Tai Chi. Now, scholars will tell you that Tai Chi grew out of Chinese martial arts, and that's my background. However, Tai Chi happens to be the one martial art that is actually good for your health as well. The roots are thousands of years old, but the name Tai Chi Chuan, the Chuan means fist for the martial aspect, came about in the 17th century. So that's fairly recent because Tai Chi was normally handed down as an oral tradition. You had to have a master who was willing to teach you, and then you were pretty much sworn to secrecy after that. It translates into supreme ultimate fist because of the aspect of yin and yang. Yin in Tai Chi and in Chinese medical terms is the calm, the still aspect, while yang is the moving aspect. In Tai Chi, we combine both of those aspects to improve your health. Tai Chi combines relaxed, not too relaxed, I like to think aligned motor sequences with low impact aerobic exercise. So the type of exercise that we're doing builds muscle endurance. And that's the energy you need to get you through your entire day, which lends to the practicality of Tai Chi as an exercise modality. It's good for your whole day, not just a few minutes of rushing. We use Tai Chi in a specific form. It's called Tai Chi Moving for Better Balance. It was the first Tai Chi form to be approved by the Centers of Disease for fitness of seniors over 60 years old. So I like to think that this was the gateway Tai Chi that allowed all other forms of Tai Chi to be taken seriously as a form of exercise. It was developed by Dr. Fujian Li of the Research Institute in Oregon. I was taught by a master trainer, Robert Nations, through UCSD. Tai Chi, as I mentioned before, is recommended by the Centers for Disease, the Administration of Community Living, and the National Council on Aging. We're going to do this form seated for everyone's safety. We're going to begin with a seated warm-up. I'm going to move back so that you can see my whole body. A seated form. Tai Chi works the joints and the tendons and ligaments of the body. So we're going to begin, as Tai Chi movement begins, from the ground up. Now, I'm going to scoot sideways so you can tell what I'm doing. First, I'm going to lift the heel, alternating the feet. Then I will lift the toes. And you want to notice, how do your joints feel? Are they loose? Are they stiff? If anything is painful, please stop. Then we're going to take our ankles in and out. Now notice, as I do this, my hands are resting on my knees, And I want my knees to stay still so that the motion is actually in the ankles. If your knees are moving in and out, that's a sign that in your daily life, your knees may be compensating for your stiff ankles. So any knee pain may actually be coming from below. And just a few, again, we're just checking in. I'm going to turn sideways again. The primary movement of the knees is front to back. Now you may feel some crunchy stuff going on in there. Over time, because Tai Chi lubricates the joints, that will gradually diminish. And this is a great thing to do right before you get ready to stand up if you've been seated for a while. Now moving up to the hip sockets. I'm going to go up to my toe by raising the heel. Then I'll use my ankle to pick the foot up. Now my foot's hovering. I will take my knee to the side. Now my lower leg is dangling. I'm just using my hip socket. I put the toe down, I put the heel down. And then I reverse that process. Raise the heel, use the ankle to pick up the toe, and then move the knee back towards the core of the body, put the toe down, put the heel down. Tai Chi is about proper process. If you have low back problem, you'll want to move your legs, move your feet in this fashion. It takes pressure off of the low back. Let's do the other side. And return to center. One more time. And notice how my knees remained upright. I didn't lean in, that puts too much pressure on the knees. Now we're going to talk about our hips. The hips in Tai Chi, I'm going to get a little closer so you can really see this. We want, see the red dot right here? We want our hips to move like this lazy Susan on one plane. Sometimes you'll see people walking and they're walking like this. This can wear out the discs in your back. So we're going to practice doing that in the chair. I'm going to turn sideways. Now you want to make sure that you're not leaning back in the chair. You see my back is at an angle that can exacerbate back pain. So I'm going to use my hands, hold on to the side of the chair. Our sit bones are rounded like our heel bones, and I'm going to rock forward to an upright position. Then, like a lazy Susan, I'm going to walk one hip at a time forward. I apologize for that. Until I'm at the edge of the chair. This is also a way to get out of any furniture that is too soft. Now my back is upright. And then I can walk back like a lazy Susan. Notice how we're not using the low back. And this is why Tai Chi is great for people with low back issues, because we're restoring the motion back to the hips where it should be. Very good. The core of the body. Again, we want to make sure that we are upright, sitting on our sit bones near the edge of the chair, and that we can rock just about an inch or so, front to back. This is our core workout in Tai Chi. This is as close to a sit as we will get. The shoulders. In Tai Chi, when we use our shoulders, when we reach for something, we don't use the shoulder joint. We want to use the back muscles. I start with my shoulder blade going forward, then my elbow, then my wrist, then my hand. I grab whatever it is I want, then I start with this shoulder blade again. Blade, elbow, wrist, hand. This ensures that all of the weight of the whatever it is I'm reaching for that I've obtained is going into my back muscles, not into my shoulder joints. And we'll do that on the other side. So I'm going to reach, and then I will return, shoulder, blade, elbow, and then wrist. This keeps us from face planting if we're reaching for something at the table. The eyes in Tai Chi, they're softly focused, but they're always on the horizon. Sometimes we think it's safer if I look down and watch where my feet are going. But if I start to tilt my head down, notice my posture starts to follow, and this could be the beginning of a fall. So it's actually safer to keep the posture, look down with just the eyes, but ahead, not immediately down. So if there's an obstruction, you can see it before we get there. All right. That is our warm-up. How are we doing? There's a reaction button in the lower right-hand screen of your computer, and you can hit that and give me a little thumbs up. No, or you can show me if your camera's on. Give me a thumbs up. Excellent. Thank you so much, Kathy. Appreciate that. All right. So that's a simple warm-up that you can do every day to improve your health and improve your safety. Now we're going to begin with our first posture, which is called simply the opening. Thank you, Ann Hill. Appreciate that. Now I'm going to show you from this angle close up what the upper body is doing. So we're going to do the upper body first. I'm going to sink down. Notice I'm just lowering the rib cage just a little bit. And when I want my arms to come up, I raise my rib cage. And again, starting with the back muscles come up and the arms follow. Then I lower my rib cage and the arms and the wrists go down. But this time, instead of resting on the knees, they're going to be off to the side. I call this the third and fourth leg. And I'll show you how to use this in a minute. So the opening, just the upper body. I go back on my sit bones just a little bit. I lower my rib cage. I rock forward on my sit bones. I raise my rib cage, and the arms will float up. Roll back on the sit bones, lower the rib cage, and the arms float down. So Tai Chi is the art of using momentum. The body generates the momentum. That way, if you have shoulder issues, you're not fighting gravity. We use the larger muscles to use the smaller muscles. Now the footwork that goes with that. So we start with our feet together. Hands are on the knees. I raise up the heel as we did in the warm-up. Pick up the toe, open the hip as far as it's comfortable. Put the toe down, put the heel down. I shift my weight in my sit bones to your left. I'm mirroring you. And then center the weight on both sit bones again. I go back onto my sit bones, lower my chest, rock forward on my sit bones, raise the chest, and the arms follow. Go back on the sit bones, lower the chest, and the hands come off to the side. That's the opening. Now, I learned Tai Chi as a martial art, but every form in the martial art, every posture in the martial art can actually help us in our everyday life. So suppose you're in a chair and you can't get out of the chair. This is where knowing these Tai Chi principles will help you. I'm going to turn sideways so you can really see this. I'm going to start with my heels a little bit behind my knees. Hands to the side as we close the opening. I'm going to push into my feet because in Tai Chi, power comes from the ground up. And you don't have to do this if you don't want to. You can just observe, that's fine. But my hands are acting as a third or fourth leg, and I want them to be wide for more stability. I push into my heels. I'm going to lean forward a little bit and then open my hips up. And that's how I can get up without a grab bar. So if you find yourself in a situation where you have nothing to hold on to, you can use the principles of Tai Chi to get up. In order to sit back down, I shift my weight sideways and down into one leg. I take one toe back, and I want to feel the chair on the back of my leg. So you know it's there where it is. I'll bring the other toe back. Then I reverse that process. But my hands are out wide. So now I can safely sit. So that's an application, an everyday application of the opening. So let's do the opening again. Hands around the knees. I shift my weight to your right, go up to the left toe, open the left hip, put the left toe down, left heel down, shift the weight from one sit bone to the left sit bone, center the weight on both sit bones, roll back, roll forward, raising the chest and the arms follow because of momentum. Rock back on the sit bones, lower the chest, and the hands are off to the side. And that's the opening. One more time, the opening. And as you do this, you want this to feel like a massage from the inside out. Excellent. Research. Now, I've mentioned that there is research for Tai Chi. We're going to talk about that just a little bit. There's research specifically for the prevention of falls among older adults, a critical analysis of the evidence. High quality evidence suggests that Tai Chi is an effective intervention for preventing falls in community settings. This was published by the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity just this year. So yes, there is proof for those of you who need proof. So when do falls happen? According to the Falls National Group, this is published in the Lancet, most falls happen when transferring, moving from one thing to another thing. And our next posture is going to show us why that might be an issue. So we will return to our opening. And remember, we're using momentum, so I have to generate some movement. I'm going to do that by shifting my weight in my sit bones, slightly sideways. If your arms are relaxed, you'll notice they naturally start to swing, but my posture is still upright. So I shift my weight. The right hand continues that momentum to go up to my collarbone, and the left hand is now at my hip, and it forms a ball position. I'll get a little closer so you get a better look at that. And it's literally called hold the ball. So here I am. I'm shifting, 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 but keeping my spine upright. And I'm using, again, my sit bones. My low back is neutral. And then keeping the weight in the right sit bone, the arms continue. Now notice how low my hands are. I don't want my hand up at my head. You don't have to salute me. I was enlisted, so you don't need to do that. And my elbows are relaxed. Why? I don't want to fight gravity. This is going to exacerbate any shoulder issues. So I want it to be low. Tai Chi's also been called martial arts for lazy people because we use momentum. We don't want to work hard. So if you have some type A people out there, I'm really sorry. Here we go. So let's just hold the ball. And we can shift our weight to the left sit bone and let the arms go to the other side. This is left hold the ball. And shift the weight. And shift the weight. You see my forearms are just pivoting around my elbows. I'm never really raising my elbows that much. Just enough to keep them away from the side of my body because now my elbows are my third and fourth hand. This gives me a wider base of stability. Sometimes people will squeeze themselves in and they try to get up and they're not stable. You actually want to make yourself bigger, wider, Hulk. Okay? All righty. So that's hold the ball. Right and left. Hold the ball is our neutral position. It's our rest position for this particular form. So if you get lost, you get confused, you just need a minute, hold the ball. It's kind of like this, if you remember Jack Benny, right? Ed Sullivan. Yes, I'm that old too. I see you laughing. That's okay. It's kind of like this. So if you have to stand for a long period of time and your body's bothering you, you can support one elbow, the side that's hurting, with the palm of your hand and just rest here. And people will never know. They'll just think you're being really thoughtful. And that's all you need to do. So these are some easy ways to save energy throughout the day. Okay? All righty. So that's our rest position, hold the ball. Now we're going to do a posture called ward off. And I'll show you the upper body bone close to you. So we're in our opening position. I shift my weight just a little bit. I'm holding the ball. Now, I'm going to look sideways out of the corner of my eye to spot where I'm going. This is a sideways motion. I lower my chest, I raise my chest, and I exchange my hands. Now my left hand's on top. I'm going to shift my weight to the left hip, and notice my hand follows. So I'm not moving my arm at all. I'm just shifting the weight in my sit bones. That gives me the motion I need. This is called ward off. I rotate my hands and to hold the ball. So now your left hand's on top, your right hand's on the bottom. We breathe, we're in our rest position. And now we do the other side. I'm looking, I lower and raise, exchanging my hands. So we got a little coordination test going on here. My right hand is in front of my left shoulder. My left hand is at that opening position, flat to the ground. And then I shift my weight, ward off. And then I hold the ball. Very good. Right, now I'm gonna back up and show you the footwork that goes along with it. Don't worry, we did it during the warm-up. Just a little more. So here we go. Shifting the weight into right, hold the ball, right hand's on top, left palm is palm up at the hip. I'm looking sideways to your left. I go up to my left toe, pick up the left toe, open the hip a little bit, put the toe down, put the heel down. Go down and up with the left hand. So now I'm in my ward off position. I shift the weight to the side, ward off. I rotate my hands. I'm in left hold the ball, left hand's on top. And my right foot will follow. Now we're going to repeat on the other side because we want to be equally balanced on both sides. Looking to the right, stepping to the right, putting the right heel down. Lower and lift by rocking on the sit bones and raising the chest. Shifting the weight to the right hip bone. Rotating the hands. Now I'm going to right hold the ball. And then the left toe will follow and the heel is down. And that's called ward off. Now you might be wondering where you would use ward off. You're out shopping or you're out walking. Somebody's walking towards you and they're looking at their phone or they're looking somewhere else. They're not paying attention. This is also great in a crowd. The Chinese name for ward off is called peng, and it means to move through a crowd. You don't want to do this. You could hurt your own wrist or startle the person. So we use ward off. They engage and we move them away from us. We move them away from us. Ward off, if you hold it for a long period of time, it's also good to build the connection into the shoulder blade that we mentioned before for holding groceries, or if you're taking a pet to the vet and you need to hold them for a long time. You can build up those muscles just by resting into gravity. Ward off. Okay. So let's go back to the beginning and add to the opening, ward off. Here we go. Breathe. Make sure you're breathing while you're moving. And begin the opening. Shift the weight, step out, heel down. Shift to the left sit bone, center the weight on both sit bones, rock back and lower the chest, rock forward on the sit bones, raise the chest, the arms follow, rock back and lower the hands. Moving into right, hold the ball, shift the weight to the right, the arms move around the elbow into hold the ball, and now ward off. Looking, stepping, sideways, lower and lift to exchange the hands, shift the weight to the sit bone on the left, rotate the hands and to hold the ball, and the left hold the ball, and the right foot follows. Other side, ward off. And let's do ward off one more time. All right. Take a minute, breathe, shake it out. Get some water if you need it. Here's another piece of research. This was done by the Journal of Exercise and Rehabilitation. Tai Chi Chuan can improve balance and reduce fear of falling in community-dwelling older adults. This was a randomized controlled trial. Ooh, those are the gold standard. That's what really helped the Centers for Disease realize that there was something valuable as an exercise system for Tai Chi for seniors. Sometimes people have a fall and then they're afraid they're going to fall again. So what happens? They tighten up their movements. Now I'm going to tell you something really crazy. The people who survive accidents more are drunk people because they're relaxed. They bounce, they flop. So if you're in a situation and you feel like you're going to stumble, you need to retrain yourself to stay relaxed, because that's what your protection is going to be. You're more likely to bounce instead of break. So now we're going to go into our next posture called part the mane. Parting the mane is a little different. The opening was up and down. Ward off was sideways. Parting the mane is angular, it's on a curve. So it's on a curve. It's a sweeping action. It's a sweeping action. Now you notice I'm not throwing my arm out, right? We want to protect this joint. I'm moving again from my hips. So let's go on our hold the ball and just get a feel for what that's like. And also, we'll show you the footwork later. It's a little different. But for now, I'm gonna hold the ball. I'm gonna exchange my hands. We've done this before. But this time, the left palm is palm up instead of facing like ward off. It's like you're asking for money, as my grandmaster likes to say, or some people like to think of serving pizza or martinis. No judgment. But notice my left hand is on the right side of my body still. And I'm moving from my hip to position it there. So I'm not straining and breaking my posture. So I have to move from my hip. Push the hip forward and you'll find it more comfortable. And then when I relax that hip, Tai Chi is momentum. Whoosh, it naturally goes to the other side. Now, where's my arm at? Is it way over here? Mm-mm. Why? Because I'm not using this joint. It's a Tai Chi illusion. So let's try that again. I'm in my right hold the ball. I'm going to lower, right palm flat to the ground, raise my chest, left palm up, but still on the right side of my body, and I'm using that hip socket. Then when that hip socket relaxes, the rest of the body follows. That's all I have to do. Isn't that wonderful? Lots of movement, no work. Yay. Then I just simply return to my hold the ball. My left hand's already on top, so I go into hold the ball. All righty, other side, make sure that elbows are down. down. I know some of you are just hard-working people. You work hard all your life. And that's the main challenge for seniors with Tai Chi is, please don't work hard. Be lazy. You earned it. Other side, parting the mane. I'm going down, raising the right palm up. This time, the right hip and the right palm. Then I'm going to relax. Ta-da! Parting the mane. Now, if your hand's up like this, you're not going to get very much money, pizza, and you're going to spill your drink. So make sure it's extended out in front of you. I like to think of the elbow and the knee kind of tracking each other a little bit. I'll show you from the side so you can get a better sense of that. The term in Tai Chi is straight, but not straight. Bent, but not bent. I think just gently, loosely align. You want a little springiness in there. That's what's going to lubricate your joints, that little springy movement. All right, now I'm gonna scoot back. We're gonna add some footwork to this. A little bit different. Now this footwork for parting the mane goes at a 45-degree angle. So I'm just gonna rest my hands here because I want you to focus on my feet. It's our usual opening, going up to the toe. Use the ankle to pick the toe up. I'm opening my hip, but this time I want my heel to go out first. And I want my toe to point at a 45-degree angle. If we were standing, it would be called a bow stance. It's like what the archers would use. And when we have finished our parting the mane to get into hold the ball, we're going to rock back on our sit bone, bring the toe forward, and bring the other foot into match. So you notice if your feet are way out here, that's kind of hard to do. So don't take a big step. We're in the chair. Don't work too hard. So let's try it on the other side, creating the bow stance. Open at the hip, take the heel out. Put the toe down, and there we have it. To retreat, rock back on the sit bone, pick up the toe, pick up the heel, return to the front, toe down, heel down. And one more time. This time we'll bring the back leg forward. Ta-da. So let's put all of that together, parting the mane. We're going to be resting as always because we're Tai Chi people. This time, I want to look 45 degrees. That's the direction I'm headed in. I will position my feet. My left foot will be pointing at a 45-degree angle. Now I'll go up to the body. I lower, I lift, and I turn. I shift the weight back, pick up the left toe, return it to the front, put the left toe down, shift the weight forward, into left hold the ball, and bring the right toe in to match, parting the mane. But now I'm in my hold the ball. Other side. Look, 45 degrees, step out to the right heel, put the right toe down, lower, lift, and rotate by using the hips. Set the weight back, pick up the toe, return the right toe to the front, shift the weight forward, and then right hold the ball, and I bring the left toe in. Woohoo! How y'all doing? Thanks for the thumbs up. Appreciate that. So one last bit of research, and this is from Harvard Health Publishing. And it says, Tai Chi, the winner at warding off falls. Harvard Health Publishing has also published its own book at Tai Chi. That's how impressed they are. Now we're going to put it all together. The opening, ward off, and parting the mane. I'll give you just a little review of just the upper body before I back up. The opening. Going into hold the ball. And ward off. Remember, we want to use the large muscles to move the smaller muscles. And then parting the mane. Moving diagonally, but using the hips. And parting the mane. And this is the first third of this form. The entire form is 10 movements altogether, including the opening and the closing. But these 3 moves give you the foundation to move safely in space, because we've gone vertically, we've gone sideways, and we've moved at a horizontal, at a diagonal. So just knowing this little bit and building that awareness can help you with everything else. I'm going to back up and we're going to add the feet. And begin with the opening. Into right hold the ball. And then right, left, ward off. Warding off to the right. "45 degrees" for parting the mane. Looking 45, stepping to the heel at a 45-degree angle on the left side. Exchanging the arms so that the left palm is palm up. And then relaxing the hip and allowing the body to float naturally to the left side. Sitting the weight back, picking up the left toe, putting the toe down. Sitting the weight forward, hold the ball, step in with the right. Other side. Make sure you're breathing. Look. Step. Lower. Lift. And shift. Sit the weight back, pivot, right side to the front, sit the weight forward, right hold the ball, and step in. Yeah. And relax. Now we kind of took it a little slow, so I'd like to go through it more of a regular Tai Chi pace. Now remember, Tai Chi is from the ground up, so make sure you're following my feet first and then the body. Here we go. The opening. With the ball, ward off. Looking at 45 to part the mane. And parting the mane. Now relax. Get some water, shake it out a little bit. If you have any questions, make sure you get them into the chat. Thank you so much for attending this session. I hope you find it informative, and I hope it inspires you to continue with Tai Chi on your own. There are a lot of great resources. There are videos on YouTube, DVDs at the library. I believe San Diego Community College and their continuing ed also has this particular form, Tai Chi Moving for Better Balance, as one of their classes. So you can look that up and sign up for that as well. And I hope as time moves on, all of our county classes will return to your local library or recreation center.
Thank you, Cassandra, for that relaxing session. If anybody has any questions, go ahead and feel free to put it in the chat right now. We're probably going to give a minute or so for that. Meanwhile, just want to remind you and encourage you that we do have a couple upcoming, we have a full week ahead of us. So with lots of great workshops. So if you haven't already explored the other fall prevention workshops, you can go ahead and do that at our fall prevention site. Registration's actually still open for many of the workshops, and for additional details about this calendar events or to register, go ahead and visit www.sandiegofallprevention.org. I know later on we have keeping your daily balance at 12:30 and understanding and preventing falls from the perspective of first responders. So with that said, let me go ahead and see if there are any questions. All good. Thank you. Wonderful class. Just reading the comments. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. We have the link where you can look at more workshops. And one of the questions says, will this recorded session be available to share? Yes, this is actually being recorded and we will put it up on that details to be determined. We'll definitely have somewhere where we will put all the workshops throughout the week. So keep an eye out for that information. Hopefully we'll get that to you soon after this week. All right. Well, I think that concludes, with a little extra time, that concludes our this workshop for today. Cassandra, I don't know if you had any closing remarks.
I would just like to say that it's never too late to begin to take care of yourself. And it's never too late to start Tai Chi, ever. In the classes that I've taught, we've had people who are recuperating from strokes, people who have finished their physical therapy or are still getting their physical therapy after a knee or hip replacement. We've had people come in wheelchairs and with their walkers. One of my greatest joys was watching one of the students actually leave her walker behind. She came in with a walker, progressed to a cane, and then one day came in without her cane. So if you're patient with yourself, because Tai Chi is a process and we're lazy and not in a hurry, you can still make movement changes in your body in a safe way without strain. So keep that in mind. Exercise doesn't have to be exercise. It doesn't have to be grinding and hard. It can be light and fun. And we want you to have fun. We want you to be safe.
I think there's another question in there. Does Cassandra teach in the San Diego area?
I only teach for aging and independent services. So right now, unfortunately, we don't have a class, any classes going on. But I am looking forward to when the libraries and the recreation centers open up. Yes, I will be teaching there. In the meantime, since they are posting this video, you can get a lot from it. So if you show up to one of my classes and you say, oh, I was at that workshop, then I will have some expectations of you. I will. But these three postures are plenty to focus on in the very beginning. It takes 6 months to a year to reprogram your body and to reprogram your nervous system to move in this way. It's not natural to our particular culture. It is Asian, moving from the ground up. They used to teach, if you wanted to move, throw your head forward, and then everybody started falling. So this takes a little bit of a rework here. So please be careful, be patient, and keep it fun. Keep it fun.
Great. All right. If there are no more questions, if you do have any additional questions for Cassandra, please email them to healthierliving.hhsa@sdcounty.ca.gov. I know that is a mouthful, so I'm going to go ahead and insert it into the chat box. Oh, there you go. Carolyn just put it in. So go ahead and send us an email if you have any questions. And with that, once again, thank you everybody for joining us today. Thank you to our speaker. We truly enjoyed this, and we hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.